Looking for a young striker, around £43 million at the start of the game to fit in your team? I might have the guy for you. Welcome back to Taz of Tomorrow. What's happening, folks, and welcome to another episode of Stars of Tomorrow, an FM24 series where we look at young talent on Football Manager and we see how they develop over the course of their careers before you guys purchase them, or if you're considering purchasing them. I don't have an intro for this series, like a video intro, other than the generic channel one. There's nothing really that makes sense. That's not copyrighted. So we'll stick with the generic one. So yeah, today's player, I think this is a subscriber suggested player. If you want to give your player a chance to get featured, leave his name and his information down below. So name, position, nationality, club, all that stuff. I would say look at the search the playlist first. Make sure he's not been done already. It's just a long series. Been doing this over the course of 2 years. There's a lot of players been done already. Like 40 odd players been done already. So just bear that in mind. That could be a thing. So yeah. Easy way doing it is you can just go on my channel on the website on YouTube on desktop and just search videos and search the player name and it'll come up if he's there. That makes it easy than going through the whole playlist, looking down on the list. You can search on the channel. But yeah, I'll do it anyway if you ask. But yeah, just in case you're wondering if your player's been featured or not. So today's player is Alvaro Rodriguez, a young striker who is 6'4", so good height, 16 heading ability, good general fitness, and general kind of like physical stats, great strength, which is handy, good dripping reach and national fitness. Now, he's at Real Madrid at the start of the game. He has got a max potential rating of 170. He's got a release clause in his contract of £43 million. So, and I've done a scout report for you guys with Manchester United, and he would want to sign for Manchester United in the first season. So you can sign this guy in his first season. Now, I don't know if you were to get him cheaper than this or not, but you can get him for a relatively cheap release clause. Of course, every game is different. You never know what's going to happen with the potential of the player. I think this guy is not a fixed player. I think you've got to set him to this kind of ability. Though I did this a while ago, so I don't actually know how this player develops, but because off the top of my head, because I did this weeks ago. So scout report, as you can see here, really good in the air. Good handling ability, release clause is the plus side there. Can play in two positions. I wouldn't do that. I'd play him as a striker. And yeah, it's a very, very generic kind of scout report there. And the reason why I do United every time, just for continuity. And then agent with a high fee, lack of flair, limiting against opposition. But these are all things that you would expect from a young player. As he gets older, he'll start developing. So straight away, you can see the finishing and technique are really good. Heading's very good as well. Shoots with power, very well as well. And development screen here, you've got shoots with power, very strong on the left foot, reasonable on the right foot. Target forward, pressing forward, advance forward. He's got the work rate for it potentially for pressing forward, which you need to have. It's only 12, but got the aggression as well. So again, this one keep an eye on as we go through the review. So straight away, it's a lot of money early on. If you could get that fee paid in installments and things like that, would be even better. But let's try and negotiate a fee. So let's see. Very interested. He wants 31 to 44 million pounds. Yes, we'll agree to that. We'll try and negotiate a deal. Now, this is a very quick negotiation. I'm not going to be sitting here for days. So 30 million pound. Let's try. This is very quick. I'm not even thinking about this too much. So 43 million pound release clause. So let's pay 20 and then 23 over installments. So they would take that. So you can get him relatively cheap. This is very quick negotiation. I'm not trying to be clever. You can get him quite cheap. That's basically matching the release clause in installment, making it a bit easier for your payments. So yeah, that's just a very quick negotiation. You don't have to pay the release clause in one go. Obviously, you guys can do your own negotiations and maybe get a better deal than I've done here. Right, first jump. Let's get to it. So he's still at Real Madrid, surprisingly. I thought he'd move on. I thought, not because he's not a good player, but I thought he just wouldn't get game time there, given how good Real Madrid are buying players. So basically the same stats, essentially. 23 years old right now. Valuation is 25 to 75 billion. Still got the main attributes of strength and heading being the main two highest ones, and slow incremental increases on general stats, 1 or 2 here and there. His current ability is 129, so still got a bit of development to go here. Injury records, have a look. Now, this may be slightly false because he's not played that much recently, but it looks like it's generally okay. So as he became with football at Real Madrid, the answer is that is, look at a glance here, no. He's got some 13 football this season and got 4 goals in the league, so that's not terrible. The release clause of his contract is now £84 million, so they've obviously guarded against that potential, and obviously this is one version of the game. I don't know if they'll do the same in yours, but it's a potential that they'll keep him and renew his contract. I wonder who they're playing up front. I wonder who they got up front. Why he's not playing. Endrick makes sense. Yeah. Who else they got up front? Who else have they got? Excuse me. So if I go, okay. So it looks like based on this, where they playing Vinicius. Okay, it looks like maybe he's getting a bit more football off the bench at Real Madrid. So that's interesting. Maybe they just keep him as a backup option. He's happy to play that. He's a finished player on his contract, so that makes sense. So, runs well on the left-hand side. Shoots with power. Yeah, maybe left wing could work. The issue I got with that, the pace isn't there for it. For me personally, I like my wingers to have pace. But not a bad option as a rotational option on that side. He can cut inside on that left foot or right foot. Sorry, he's not terrible, but I think a bit on the right hand side with left foot cutting inside and shooting power. But that's just me. So yeah, I think he needs to move. He's listed for loan transfer now, which is interesting. But definitely a decent player if you get him early on and play him. I think we're suffering here from the classic not playing the guy. So let's jump. Let's go. Alright folks, he's gone to Dortmund and shocker, he gets more football and look at the development here. So straight away as you can see we've got finishing up to 16 already, finishing up to 15, dribbling to 15 sorry. The pace is still relatively the same, the acceleration is up. Basically everything's increased on this guy, you can see that on the screen here. I don't have to read the stats out to you, really do I? Though I'm looking at other skins that make it maybe easier to read them, but it's just the problem with those skins is if I use them, a lot of them have got the instant results thing on, and people don't like me using that because they accuse me of, you know, doing stuff. And even though I get stacked on many saves, like okay, whatever. So yeah, straight away more football getting played. Imagine what it would be like if you played him early on in a save. So injury record first, again not over concerning. Glancing view. So Dortmund got him on loan for 1 season, and he got 16 and 2. They then paid £31 million to sign him, and he got 10 and 5. Then his probably breakout season here was 21 goals, 8 assists for Dortmund, and he's still there at the moment. No risk clause his contract there at the moment. Tactics still got the same kind of traits and familiarity, but he's now slightly better at right wing, which is not a big surprise. I did say he could potentially play there. I wouldn't, because I just don't think you get the benefit from him. I really don't. Where Dortmund playing him? Striker. Yeah, don't play him. I don't think you should, look, I'm not saying he's terrible at a winger, but I think that height in the penalty area and that heading and that shooting with power, I want him in the penalty area, in the crosses, scoring goals. Definitely a quality player. For £20 million plus £23 million add-ons in instalments, he's only worth a punt if you can afford him and do that deal. The problem is, obviously, you know, fees, if you got the money. I would sign this guy for United if I wasn't. I'm starting my United save for when I'm on holiday, and I'm got a target in mind. It's not this guy, unfortunately. But yeah, really solid player now. Now he's at Dortmund getting some football, and he's scoring goals on a regular basis. Just that period when we did there wasn't really helpful in his career, which is a big problem. We can't force them in this scenario to play them because it then affects the transfer development. So it is what it is. Anyway, next jump. Let's go. So he's still at Dortmund, guys, and relatively the same stats. They've been quite consistent throughout this whole thing. There's a little drop off maybe in 1 or 2 of them, but overall looks pretty good. Interested in him now from Man City and then the Saudi Pro League, by the looks of it. I think they're both from Saudi League, those players. Al Hilal, I know they are. And Al Ittihad, I'm sure they're both Saudi clubs. Injuries, again, there's more here now than was before, but he's playing more football now, so you'd likely see an increase in that. So that's not really concerning for me personally. So career stats. So that first year when he got that big breakout, then he got 21, then he got 24 goals, 8 assists, then 13 goals, 5 assists, 19 goals, 3 assists, 30 goals last season, and 8 assists. Obviously, that's total for club of 24 in the league. So definitely got a talent. And now, again, at least scores £84 million being put in his contract here. So a very, very good player. Doesn't really rely on the pace as much. Obviously, acceleration is still there, but he really relies on his strength and his stamina and his heading ability and his finishing, not his pace, which is really good from a standpoint of longevity, in my opinion. If a player relies on his pace a lot, and that's what his main attribute was, as they get older, you naturally lose that pace, so I'd be more concerned by that. Anyway, will he stay at Dortmund? I'm going to continue one more jump to see if that goal return of basically 20 goal season continues. So he stayed at Dortmund, and the stats on the screen here basically what they've been for the whole simulation, even when once he started playing at Dortmund. So let's look at the career stats here. So we got 19 goals, 3 assists, 30 goals, 8 assists, 15 goals and 2, 16. So he gets 15 goals plus a season, more or less. In fact, most times. £31 million. He's not a bad signing. You can get him. You can get him early in the game, so you can get him day one if you've got the money. If you can sell some players and free some wages, you can get a young striker in and you can develop him. I would say use him. Don't just like sign this guy and not use him. Don't fall to trap Madrid did. I think this guy's in a physical league, he'd be absolutely fantastic. He can play wide as well if you want him to. Though I think that pace kind of limits that a little bit. That's my personal opinion. But yeah, guys, I like him a lot for the money that you're paying for him. If you can do a better deal than I did, which you might be able to do, because it doesn't look like they're nailed on to what the release clause. Obviously, the player might not develop as well in your save. But what are your thoughts, guys, on Alvaro Rodriguez? I think a very good striker. I'm going to give him a solid 8 out of 10. That's just my personal opinion. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this episode, I hope you have. Hit the like button down below and subscribe for more daily FM content. There is a break coming up soon for my holiday. Don't forget, if you've got a player you want me to feature, leave his name, position, club, all that information down below. But I would recommend you look at the playlist or search the channel first. We've been such a long period of time doing these videos on this game. It's likely, possibly, I've done a review of that player already. I've got another review on to do next in a few minutes' time. I'll take a break, and I'll see you guys for the next episode. But until then, thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.